Dear friends, dear admirers of music and Jana Boušková and her Harp channel, I would like to invite you for this beautiful live interview with special guests in the field of music. I'm privileged to be part of it, and I really hope you will join us, because speaking to Jana about life and music, about everything which connects us and everything which might be different for each of us, will definitely be great for me, and I hope also for you. So please join us at this stream on YouTube and Facebook, the Harp channel, and I guarantee that I will get my hair shorter. Until then, this is unbearable. See you there, and have a nice day.
Good evening, everybody. Have a nice day, my dear friends. I'm so happy to welcome you again to our interview, to the live interview at the Harp channel. But today it's a very special day because I have a very special guest, really honored to invite Maestro JAKUB HRUSA. Who would not know him? And of course, it is a big honor that he made his time to be with us. And I'm sure that you will enjoy not only to be with us, but to meet this person in life, because we will not talk only about the music as is usual, but we will really talk as people about life and everything. And I'm sure that it is something what makes us even more valuable. So I'm very pleased and honored to welcome today our guest, special guest, Maestro JAKUB HRUSA. JAKUB, welcome, and thank you again for your time, that you accepted my invitation and that you can be with us, because you are now in Bamberg, right?
Hello, Jana. Ahoy. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm in Bamberg in Germany, surprisingly after the full day of working as conductor, and I was looking forward to this. Very happy to be with all of you.
Thank you so much again, very much. You were explaining me before we were starting to have the stream that you are recording the new CD with your orchestra for 4 days already, right? Can you just tell us the secret? What is it going to be?
Can I? Well, I think I can. No, it's quite stunning that during this period of lockdown, and Germany is no exception. You know, it's really bad here as everywhere else at the moment. But my orchestra, the Bamberger Symphony, really is privileged to be able to work, and we are recording. Indeed, we thought we can't play for people because people can't go for concerts, but we really have a beautiful hall in which we can record, and I have this crazy idea always behind recording. So we're recording Bruckner, Anton Bruckner, which is a composer I basically discovered practically here in Bamberg. And yes, not only the fourth day, we are recording already for 3 weeks or maybe a month. And
Wow.
we have been doing only Bruckner, and everyone is full of Bruckner. And of course, everyone is now looking forward to have a week without Bruckner, despite all love which musicians here have for Bruckner. But Bruckner is part of their culture and now part of my culture as well. And if you have an orchestra which really loves Bruckner, then it's a great fun to do it.
It is your first experience with Bruckner to record, or have you done already some recordings of?
Oh no, recordings, no. I have done symphonies. I have done some of the symphonies. I've listened to all of them, and I've bought many complete cycles of symphonies. I have many CDs with Bruckner, and always when Bruckner is in program, I'm happy to go, especially if it's with an orchestra, as I said, or a conductor who seem to be authentic in this music. But I haven't recorded any, and it took me some years to get to this point.
And do you remember when we will, of course, come back to your past, but when we are now touching this matter, this issue, I would like to ask, do you remember when you conducted Bruckner for the first time ever?
Yes, I remember that very well, and it was not very happy. As I shouldn't speak about where it was, but I can say it was a little bit far away from where we are now, including Prague and Bamberg. It was with an orchestra which had great qualities, but it seemed like Bruckner was completely foreign to them. And if I may say, now not naming where it was, the first horn player in that orchestra didn't seem to like Bruckner and be able to play it really beautifully. And if you have the Symphony No. 4, which is full of horn solos, and start with a fantastic atmospheric horn solo, and it doesn't work, the whole thing is doomed. So I wasn't very happy about that. And then I did Bruckner once more with my orchestra in Zlín, where I was conductor once upon a time. But this was after I went away, but so I always come back. Not always, unfortunately, for some while now I haven't been back, but it's always a pleasure to go back to your first orchestra, first professional orchestra. And we did Bruckner 7. It was a great discovery. But it really took years to discover Bruckner in depth, and it meant for me to get to Bamberg, where there's a huge Bruckner tradition. They really play Bruckner every year with various conductors, and I tried Bruckner 4 with them, and in the rehearsals I still was feeling like I'm in a foreign country. But then a concert, and in that concert, or series of concerts, we went on a little tour in Germany, and I fell in love with this repertoire. And yes, except that we're all tired, I still can imagine that I would go somewhere else next week and do Bruckner again. I'm not tired of his beauty. It's very specific and very beautiful, very original, and I'm very grateful that I can discover this man.
That's fantastic. But you are always so inspiring conductor with any music you do, because it seems that you really always, what you do, you really feel in love with that piece which you conduct. So there is no matter if it's Bruckner or if it's Janáček or if it's Smetana or any other composer, you always really are so much involved in the music. So it's clear that you really work for and understand that composer very much.
So thank you. You will be surprised, but imagine that in the first version of Bruckner 4, I discovered some similarity to Janáček. Can you imagine?
Really?
He has the same repeated, it goes on, and there's the whole world of harmony around it, but this ostinato, this repeated motive, and the originality. And then I thought, am I crazy to compare Bruckner and Janáček? I spoke to my friend Jiří Zahradka in Brno and told him this, and he thought maybe I was too tired or something like that. But then he listened to it, and he discovered maybe it's true. Both of them had this original vision, which they really went for, despite what the world around them thought. And I find that until this day inspiring.
That's wonderful. And I would like now to introduce you again. We have heard so beautiful music already at the beginning, but as you were talking that you are not in Bamberg and that you are working with Bamberg, I would like to show the atmosphere with your orchestra, how really they love you.
I think the chemistry between audience and the orchestra on stage at the moment of the concert is the most special thing.
Wow. Good. One of the longest ones, but meaningful, beautiful, good mood. Happy making.
Ja, vielen Dank, das macht total Spaß.
Ja,
das ist genial.
Ja.
Jeden Abend neu.
Jeden Abend
Schön.
neu. Das ist
super.
wunderbar.
Das ist fantastisch.
Aber ich habe gesagt, wenn ich hierher gekommen bin, habe gesagt, einmal mehr ist es nicht möglich.
Also.
Limit heute.
Okay.
Ja. Danke.
Ich freue mich total. Dass
Ja,
ich da
ich
bin.
auch. Super.
And that's how it should be. Yeah, it is wonderful, and also certainly a pleasure for you to feel such a connection with your orchestra as a family, right? It's how long have you been there already? It's fourth year?
I think it's my 4th year, and we have 10 years contract. So I think
Wow.
we are not yet past the half of it. So if nothing strange happens, I think the bond between the orchestra and myself is very beautiful. Of course, in every relationship, there are moments when it's absolutely sparkling and moments where it's almost absolutely sparkling. And we enjoy these adventures and have very beautiful projects. Yes, I am, and at this time, I must say, especially at this time of this Corona crisis, I'm exceptionally grateful and happy that I can work here, because it's an environment which is healthy, positive, stable, full of music, and we continue working, which is a great gift. I mean, the problem, as everywhere, is that we don't have a public now, but we can do streaming, we can do recordings, and we can improve our thoughts about the future. We're experimenting with the acoustics. We're talking how to improve what already is good, but still can be improved, and have crazy ideas about repertoire and so on. So it's a meaningful time.
But as you said, that it's a great atmosphere, that it's a healthy atmosphere and everything. But I can personally say it means you are doing that, because never the atmosphere is good when the top person who is above them doesn't make this atmosphere for them. So I think that they are so honored to have you there and privileged to have you there. So that is both ways.
It's both sides. And I remember Tony Papano, the famous conductor, as I was conducting at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, and he came to one of my performances, and we had a little chat, and I praised his orchestra there, the Royal Opera House Orchestra. And he, after how long time? He was there maybe, 20 years. I don't know really, but many, many years. And as I praised his orchestra, his eyes were like open wide, and he was so happy, and he said, "Oh, aren't they beautiful? And they saved my ass so many times." The first thing he said is that they helped him million times when something went wrong in the pit or on stage. They just supported the music fully, and I think I can say I feel the same about Bamberg. They've never yet played a concert which was, not taken care of.
Yeah.
And they often, I tend sometimes, you know me, so I'm a positive guy, but sometimes when I really need something to be improved, I can also be a little unpleasant in the rehearsals. And they so many times improve the atmosphere by just being good or saying something right, or when there's a moment which has some tension about it, they never make a fuss about it. They never make an issue out of it. And then I like it's a beautiful partner in relationship when you have the other side with opinion, but also with willingness to always smooth any tensions which can happen. And that inspires me, and I hope I inspire them into the same field. They inspire me, so I think we're a good couple.
For absolutely certainly it is like you say, but you have also a gift from the God that even in your young age, since long time you started to already conduct. You were born with the you were born already as a conductor for sure, but you always had the gift that you have respect. Only comes to the stage and you have respect, which is nothing what the conductors all can learn. It is something what you have or you don't. And this is something what I think the conductor should have, because without the respect from the orchestra, it's very difficult to work. You can have great ideas, you can be a great musician, but if there is no respect, unfortunately, the orchestra will not listen to you. So this is something.
But I could tell you stories from my.
Maybe you can say later, but let's go, because I don't want to miss the beginning. And of course, I don't want to also miss the sentence, which is very important to tell, that I'm very also privileged to say and honored that our orchestra, the Czech Republic Orchestra, the Czech Philharmonic, has you as a main chief conductor, and that you are also part of our orchestra somehow, if I allow to say that, and that you belong to us as well, so which is so great. So I hope we can talk a little bit about that too, and about your all experiences which you have in our orchestra. And if you allow me, I will now give a little example of your Carnival, which already we heard at the very beginning, but here it's a little bit more to hear. Unfortunately, it cannot be longer, but I have now first surprise for you, and I will be very happy to our director of Czech Philharmonic, David Mareček. It's my great pleasure and honor also to have such a personality, such a wonderful, great pianist, and of course the chief director of our orchestra to be with us. Thank you so much, David, to welcome, to accept my invitation as well. And as I said before, you are both like now my family, and I would like to know if you both remember when you started to conduct the Czech Philharmonic for the first time, and when two of you met for the first time.
David, ahoy! It's fantastic that you joined, and thank you very much for taking time to do that. I'm happy, Jana, that you made possible that we meet after a long time again.
I'm so glad that it works, and that at least this kind of technology helps us to meet people which we can't meet. Not that we don't want, but we can't because of the COVID. So I'm so glad that at least this can help. So David, I hope you can hear us.
No, until now, I didn't hear a thing. This is the third thing. I hear the sound was not working properly. I now tried to turned the phone, and now I can hear you. So I apologize. I don't know what both of you were saying.
We were just swearing and saying the worst possible things about you.
Yes, that's what I supposed. Yeah.
Thankful very much for your accepting the invitation, and that we are very honored that you can also join us for this interview, and that you two, really the most wonderful people who I know from the Czech Philharmonic and everywhere from the music world, that you can be together with us. I'm so glad, and I mentioned that you two are really part of my family, music family, and that you both certainly have great experiences and memories of some cooperation, maybe of the first cooperation or first meeting, or if you can tell us a little bit about that.
Well, with pleasure. And Jakub knows the story very well, because I told it on several occasions, but I think this will be the first time in an English interview, so not in Czech. And we studied with the same teacher, with the same professor, conducting. And I studied conducting for some times when I was a conservatoire student, and Jakub was a younger student. He still was he was not at the conservatoire, was the English word for the secondary school you attended. Grammar school. So you were in the grammar school, but already studied conducting with the same professor. And we met on some occasion, and I just felt, without knowing anything about Jakub, that it would be nice to do something together. And I offered him to conduct the wind ensemble that I was conducting on regular basis. And Jakub accepted the invitation immediately. And I still remember the first rehearsal he had with them. And it
was probably my second rehearsal in life or something like that.
That's quite possible. And when I saw Jakub rehearsing, I was so amazed that I said to myself, this is a born conductor. And I decided the same night that I quit, because I saw that he was so natural. It was so beautiful. So it just was going so well. Mm-hmm. And of course, I could not at that time guess that he will be the only Czech finalist of the Prague String competition, that he will then get other prizes, and that he will actually become one of the world's finest conductors. But it was all in him from the very first moment. So I feel very honored that I could witness this. And apart from this, what's more important, that Jakub is a very, very dear friend, and has been ever since. So this is my first recollection.
Well, that's so beautiful. I remember, David, thank you so much. I remember this moment as well. It was in the Janáček Theatre, and you came along, or you were there before me or after me, I don't know exactly, but we shared the time for the lessons. And I had an immediate affinity to you. It was an amazing feeling, and I felt it's great to share live music, plans, with this guy. I didn't know you at all, but when you invited me, I thought this is the best way to do. And then I started collaborating, and I always had an amazing pleasure to see your knowledge about music, your feeling for it, your recognition of what's interesting about music making, what's quality, what's not quality, and your organizational sense and potential. I don't know. You hadn't organized so many things before, I think, but it felt like the absolutely most special thing. And what I remember too, I was worried about my piano playing at that time. And I remember we met at the rehearsal of Orchestra Železničářů, Railwaymen
Orchestra.
And I was conducting the Noon Witch. No. I was conducting Egmont, and some other guy conducted Noon Witch. And then you asked me about my plans, what I want to do and so on. I said, no, I would like to try to get to the university, academy, of performing arts, but I don't know, I can't compete with the guys at the conservatoire. I haven't studied properly the harmony and counterpoint. I did actually, but just on my own. And my piano playing, they want this and they want that. And you were so supportive. I will never forget. You know, you erased all doubts I had about whether I can make it or not. And there was, you know, you could be like the other guys, just jealous. You know, that the other guys are just jealous.
I have to say, I don't remember that, and I'm happy that it helped. But I was never jealous when I saw genuine talent. It was the same with the piano playing, because I wanted to be a pianist. Then I realized that my field would be chamber music, and I still play chamber music and enjoy it very much. And even in piano as my main profession, I was never jealous when I saw people like Igor Ardashev in Brno, or Kirill Gerstein later, because when you see that the talent of your colleague is so big that you're not coming any close to it, but it's natural and beautiful, the talent, then you just admire it and enjoy it. When it's close, when the colleague is a little bit better than you might be slightly jealous. You might try to get there, but when you see that you cannot get there really, but at the same time you can appreciate it, and you see, and that's what was obvious with you, that the talent was so big that there was no doubt that you can do anything you want in music.
Well, that's beautiful, but it takes a great character to be like you know. So let me just comment on that.
Yeah. And it was.
It's very rare, yeah. It's very rare, but it's very unique and very special and fantastic episode. And you said so beautiful things also about that. I believe and also think that Jakub is really born with the button.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he's all the time the same. He hasn't changed. As this was the first encounter that I spoke about, but I also remember when I saw him conducting the Czech Philharmonic for the first time. I don't know if it was his first time, but it was for me the first time. We came to Prague to see Klaus Peter Flor conducting the Czech Philharmonic, but he was ill and Jakub stepped in. So we were excited that our friend will conduct the Czech Philharmonic, and the concert went out beautifully. And we went to see him during the interval, and I expected Jakub being just honored and happy that he's conducting the Czech Philharmonic, but he was so immersed in music. He was only speaking about that it should be even better and what can he achieve with them and they with him, that he didn't care at all whether it's Czech Philharmonic or Berlin Phil or whatever. It was just about music. And that's what I saw at the very beginning. The same was with the Czech Philharmonic. The same was his debut with the Berlin Philharmonic, with the Vienna Philharmonic, that it was always about music. And I have to say that I saw this with a very, very few conductors. I can remember Kirill Petrenko, who made a very similar impression, and not many others, really.
So maybe we see now JAKUB HRUSA as the future Berlin Philharmonic, also chief conductor. But he has to be the Czech Philharmonic chief conductor.
I think that what has to come will come inevitably, and I just wish Jakub that he enjoys music all the time as he did from the beginning and as he does, and whether it's Czech Philharmonic or Berlin Philharmonic or Concertgebouw or some other orchestras, I don't think that this is important. The important is that they are happy together, and that I think is now happening in Bamberg. Absolutely, that this is a connection that's so natural, so beautiful. I don't speak about Czech Phil, not because this is also true about Czech Phil, but I wanted to emphasize the Bamberg Symphony, because whenever I see them together, whenever I hear them together, I'm really happy, because you can feel that the connection is genuine and that the orchestra loves Jakub, and I know from Jakub how much he loves them.
Yeah, we actually spoke about it. It's beautiful. But I just say one comment about that meeting of ourselves, or each of us together after the Czech concert. I'm really grateful that we can remember it like that and state or confirm or be proud about that now we both are involved. You know, you of course at the very head of it, and I as a principal guest conductor, and that we may say that the orchestra is so much more wonderful than it was at that time. And I every time I go, I enjoy that more and more. And that's a tribute to your work there, and to every musician in it having a common goal to be really good and better. And that's fantastic to observe. So happy that we can say that, not like, oh, 20 years ago it was so good.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
The trajectory is clear, improvement.
Yeah, and I have to add that we are lucky that the musicians are on the same boat with us, because that's also quite rare. And I was worried when I started working for the Czech Philharmonic, because the orchestra didn't have the best reputation in the world, but they proved themselves dedicated musicians. And what you described now, Jakub, is the result of that we all work together. And yeah, and we're happy that it's the reality now.
And I must say also what I mentioned already before, David, you came in, that it is always about who is above the musicians. And of course, as we were talking about Bamberg, that Jakub makes the musicians to be like they are. Now I can talk about you. And it's not that I want to give only compliments, which are just like compliments. They are meant compliments, because without you, David, without your management, you and your management above, would not be the Czech Philharmonic as it is now. So we have now everything, the best what we can have. And I really hope that everything will last much more longer, and that we will still have you, and we will be able to cooperate together as many years as possible. And also, we will have also Jakub soon in the present to conduct again the Czech Philharmonic, that we will be able to really make concert live, as even now the Czech Philharmonic is doing some streams, but that we will be able to play for the people and to really enjoy sharing the music together.
I hope as well. Thank you, and it's very kind of you. I just wanted once again to emphasize that it's a teamwork. I know that it may sound like a cliche, but both of you, Jana and Jakub, know that it's not a cliche, that it's now what's happening at the Czech Phil, and we couldn't achieve it without each other, that everybody has to be involved. So I just keep fingers crossed that it stays like that.
And thank you very much. It's really honored that you make your time as well. And
thank you. It was a pleasure.
We could have invited and welcome to our stream General Director of the Czech Philharmonic, David Mareček, and to be with us. Thank you so much, David. Many greetings to you. Have a great evening and great Christmas as well to the whole family.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
That was great.
So that was a good timing as well, because I was worried if he will not come earlier before I will speak about Czech Philharmonic. So it was great timing, and I'm very glad that it worked like that. And Jakub, because I would like first also to come back about your past. We were already mentioning that you were born with the button. That's what it's clear. But your parents were musicians. I don't think that they were musicians, right?
No. My parents, actually no one in my family, as far as the relatively close family goes, has had music as a life occupation. My family tends to be rather oriented more technically. A lot of engineers. My grandfather was an engineer. My other grandfather was a geophysicist, physicist. Yeah, the one who copes with physics. Yeah, I think so. Not physician, but physicist. Yes, and my grandmother as well. And my father is an architect, and my mother has done beautiful work in the field of collecting and selling pieces of folk art, like blankets and ceramics and beautiful stuff which people do because they can't do otherwise. It's just beautiful items of folk art, and studied engineering as well. And also the family of my wife, who is a lawyer, is technically oriented. Her parents are both also engineers, and her brother too. So engineers everywhere, and of course a beautiful lawyer closest to me. So where music came from, I don't know exactly. The further family, we have some teachers of music, and my great-grandparents, I think they played instruments in the village and things like that. But it's true that somehow, if I reflect my childhood, music was always present. And we went to concerts, went to operas, had LPs at home, and did, oh yes, that's me. Of, I don't know how many, 4 or something, 5 maybe. And so music was there always, and I played instruments. I played the piano, I played the recorder, and later some brass instruments. And I think I should say my parents did a fantastic thing, that as soon as they saw that I had talent for music, which was clear, I didn't have talent for visual art as much. It was clear to my father, I think, right away, because he, on the contrary, had as a boy a beautiful talent for visual arts, for drawing and painting. I didn't, I always tended music and books, reading and writing, but not drawing. And so what they did is that they supported me in this and created an environment which was full of music and music opportunities, and insisted on my practicing, and made me just do it. I never really was against practicing. I think I was a good boy, but as everyone, sometimes if it's only my own decision, I might have, if not quit, I might have just do other stuff, because it's not easy to practice. I mean, everyone who has tried this knows it always takes so much will and strength to keep doing. And so that's what happened. And then it was actually later in my life that I made a decision that I would be a conductor. I was in my teens already, and at that grammar school, gymnasium, I didn't know I would be a musician by profession. That's I think it was interesting. Rather, people around me thought it may happen. Some teachers said, don't you want to think about conservatoire and maybe composition or conducting? And I wasn't sure. But I thought, without much more maturity than a teenage boy can have, I somehow automatically thought music belongs to life. I mean, life without music is impossible. And I remembered, I read my recent discovery is a Czech composer, First. It's not very much. He's not very much played. He's very much a shadow of other people. But in the Corona time, I discovered this guy, Josef Bohuslav Förster, a beautiful, lyrical, religious, and romantic soul. I'm really full of him. And I read his memoirs, exactly the same story, just from the other perspective. His family was musical. Everyone was a musician. His father was a musician. His granddad was a musician. All his siblings were musicians. So for him, it was so obvious that music belongs to life that he didn't even think whether it's a profession or not. He thought he would do maybe something else, but he didn't question it. Music belongs to life. And it only takes some point in your life that you decide, okay, can I do without it? Can I live life that I don't have time for music every day? Basically my motivation for conducting was I want to spend as much time with music as possible. And I wanted to do that in the field which is the most natural for me. And without much thinking, conducting immediately came out of this thinking. So I think I have been conductor since 14 years old or something like that.
Did you, what instrument was, of course, piano, but you played also some brass instrument, right?
I played the trombone, yes. I played the piano. I played in Brno. I went to the local primary school for musical education, and I entered some ensembles. I tried other instruments. Also, I tried the trumpet for some while, but I think my very inspiring teacher, Mr. Vrtek, at that time, he needed a trombone player in his orchestra. So he told me that my lips were not fit for the trumpet and that I should try trombone, and which I did. And actually, trombone is a very good instrument that you can play with in various ensembles with trombone. You can play chamber music. I did all of that. Chamber music, brass band, big band, symphony orchestra, whatever. And it's an instrument like violin where you have to some extent, you have to influence the intonation. So if you're part of an ensemble, it's in your hands how to cope with other people. And it's a very versatile instrument, and you can use it in many occasions. Not like the piano, you're always alone with the piano unless you're virtuoso whom everyone wants to hear. Then it's not. Chamber music is possible, but anyway, trombone helped me actually to discover the beauty of an ensemble, of an orchestra, of a band.
Are you still playing the trombone sometimes?
No, I brought the trombone here to Bamberg, and I've never yet opened the case.
Well, no time. You are recording now at the moment. But is there any person who you met, because you were saying that none of your parents or none of your relatives were musicians? Who was the first musician who inspired you so much that you said, like, I really want to be the musician because I want to be like that person? Was there anybody like that?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, this teacher of mine who taught me from the age of 6, he was Jiří Vrtek. If he ever hears and sees this, I would like to greet him. I don't know. We haven't met for a long time, but he was a very inspiring guy. He was a trombonist himself, but he also was a pianist. He also was a conductor. He was an arranger, and he was a music organizer. And he did all of it simultaneously together. He was like an amazing talent of many aspects. And he, of course, opened this whole creativity in the field of music and orchestra to me. He was also a little crazy and little straightforward. I mean, it was really. He reminded me of Jan Tříska in the film Obecná škola. That kind of a guy, strict and strong, but also very amiable somehow. And then I met later, when I was already almost at the high school, at the grammar school, I met Tomáš Krejčí. That's a Brno-based singer and conductor and teacher of conducting and other things. And very similar to David Mareček, who was here, he was a leader of a symphony orchestra where I played, and he sensed, I think, that I couldn't live without trying to be a conductor. And instead of being jealous or somehow telling me, like some other people, I also met bad people who just said, no, you have to do so much and it's too late for you to start, and you would have to start earlier, or then you have to go to conservatory and start from the zero and step by step, and you can't just make fast progress. No, he took my hand almost literally and brought me to this Mr. Evgen Holish, who was a teacher of conducting in Brno, where I met David Mareček. And really, not only that, he gave me opportunity to conduct some pieces in his orchestra alongside him, but he also just brought me to his teacher. He just helped me actively, and I still don't understand how possible that these great people appeared in my life. It was really fantastic. And then, of course, if I don't speak about some people I knew, from books and from DVDs and CDs, there were so many that I can't mention all. Of course, Jiří Bělohlávek was a great inspiration. I remember until this day, the one time I went always to Brno Philharmonic concerts, and then once he came as a guest. He was doing Schubert Unfinished and Beethoven Eroica. And I didn't have so much brain about conducting. I couldn't have had that one because I was only starting. But I somehow, something like David was speaking about, with your intuition, with all your system, you think, this is a person I can learn from. And at that night, I got this dream that I would study with him, which after some some curves and waitings, I really was happy to get into my life. So I think these three people, one after another, had a very special inspiration. I mean, real inspiration, because I was close to them personally, not just from the screen,
No, certainly Jiří Bělohlávek was also really like your father, and I would like to give him a more interesting speak later, if it's possible. But now I have another surprise for you, because I am so happy to welcome our stream a wonderful piano virtuoso, Ivo Kahánek.
Ivo!
Hi, Kuba.
Hi.
And it's so big pleasure, because I must say, before I let you two speak, which will be certainly very interesting for everybody, to explain that two of you just recently, about half a year ago, won the BBC prize for your CD. And as there is a really successful year for you, Jakub, this year, you have all the CDs are just now taking all the prizes everywhere. It's amazing. And one of your prize was given to both of you. And I'm so pleased that I can welcome really Ivo, that he had also time to accept this invitation, that you two can speak about this, as I'm sure everybody would like to know. How was the recording? How was your excitement when you got this information, when you got the prize and everything? If you can just backstage information to tell us a little bit.
No, Ivo, it's great that you made time to be here, and it's really, I think we should tell everyone what it was like when we received the information that we won the Angel Prize, because it connects us to your previous guest, because David was here. David Mareček as a guest, and he not only is a great, manager of music and pianist and the dearest friend, but he also is a good actor. He also is a good actor because he really played a beautiful joke to us. And then, you want to speak about that, or I should?
You can continue.
No. Very, very briefly, we were invited to Rudolfinum to record some little documentary about how we did this CD or something like that, or what we think about the nomination. And then we saw David Mareček in the corridor, absolutely desperate and in the worst possible mood. And he said that the team of Angel Prizes somehow collapsed and they don't have any interviewer, and that they called him last minute and he doesn't know what to speak about. And he was really like, he wanted to eat the whole team, the cameraman and everyone, because he was so annoyed that he had to be there. And then we sat down in a slightly strange mood, and then he took the word and just said, so how are you guys? What would you say if I just told you? And then he grabbed the little statue, put it on table, and said, "What would you say like this if I tell you that you won the Angel Prize?" And we were so shocked. I think one of us said, "Oh, is it some kind of Corona time joke? What is this?" And then we realized, yeah, we were given the prize, the award.
I have the goosebumps again.
And then we had to, but the trouble was that we had to repeat our surprise because the cameraman made some mistakes. So it was crazy.
Yeah, it is lovely. That's what I say, that he was a good actor. I'm not a good actor. And now, so guys, could you just, let's take it from the moment when you actually first time heard about your receiving the prize. And please, if you could be so surprised, like for the first time now, just let's go.
That's a fantastic. But it was a recording. Can you tell us a little bit about the recording as well, so that the people can, of course, search for the CD? I have here the picture of that CD, the cover. So you can. Is there a Dvořák and Martinu piano concerto, and it is the Bamberger Symphoniker, of course. When did you record it, and where?
We started the recording with the Dvořák piano concerto, which was the studio recording. And we recorded it on the 5th of October 2017, I think. And then we had a long break, more than 1 year, and we were continuing in January 2019 with Martinu Incantation, which was a live recording, or recording made from 2 concerts and a general rehearsal.
Oh, wow. And it was the first cooperation with the Bamberger Symphoniker, Ivo, for you? Or
yes, for me it was the very first
and immediately this kind of prize. It's amazing. So you should continue to get more and more.
Yes, we should.
Is there any plan you have now? Is there any plan now for you too?
Many plans, but they need to materialize.
Is there any future? I know that now it's very difficult to plan, but is there any really plan for you to have some concerts in the future, in the coming year? I mean, maybe in the autumn or time.
No. Actually, I am in discussion with people about organizing that. We have had such a great success, but we still ought to have a proper plan for future. So, I mean, we are working on this. But we're both busy guys. Ivo is everywhere. I am also everywhere. So we have to meet somewhere.
Yeah. It's very, now you can stream together. You can conduct on the screen, and Ivo can play in Prague. Yeah, but
by the way, Jakub, where are you now? Sorry.
I'm in Bamberg. I am in my
Bamberg. Yes, that's your library, of course.
That's you see there on. You see him next to the, and this is the Yamaha, and scores,
yes,
scores and scores and.
Unbelievable.
No,
so
we
spent
beautiful time, Ivo and I. We spent beautiful time here. The orchestra, I enjoyed it tremendously, and we knew somehow. I sensed it will be a fantastic CD. I somehow knew, but the fact that it got so much recognition, of course, is amazing. It's something I really appreciate, and I think we can say to the public that we are often very critical about our recordings. No, I mean, artists usually feel strange things about our past recordings, like this could be done better, and this is too fast, and this is strange in one way, this is strange in another. I mean, things like that come, but I must say my feelings about these recordings are just fantastic. I just like it, and I listened to it the other day in the car on my way somewhere, and I said, well, they've done well, these guys. It's good.
I can tell you. Sorry.
No, you're fantastic, and that can be everybody can hear it. It's I will also tell something later, but just like continue, Ivo. Now.
I can tell you, I hate listening my own CDs, and this is the only CD I have ever heard, ever listened to, maybe twice even. So it's for me it's unbelievable because I really hate it.
No, but it means something already for sure. And also, of course, because you got that prize. I just want to know, because you had to be nominated first, of course, before you were getting the prize. How long time between the nomination and the prize was there?
Well, first we received the CD of the month, or recording of the month, in the BBC Music magazine, which is a fantastic result, a very good thing, and it was. I think this good news was at the end of October, but then the nomination itself, I think it happened on February.
So
Yes.
it was,
and then
between.
Nomination was in January, and on February we received the result, and then we have to keep it secret for more than 2 months, and then it was Corona, and so.
I see. And can you just tell us, when two of you met for the first time, when you performed together for the first time, which orchestra, where, and which concerto, if you remember?
So I think it was in Zlín.
Yeah, I think it must have been in Zlín, yes. And I think Mozart and Tchaikovsky, no? We played, I think.
Mozart and Tchaikovsky, and it was a fantastic time because Jakub's Zlín period was unbelievable, and I think he could tell us a couple of words about it, because
it was amazing. We worked like hell. I was relentlessly pushing the orchestra to be better and better, and they let it happen. And then when we couldn't work anymore, then we drank a lot. It was a beautiful time.
That is how it should be. Yeah, certainly to enjoy. But I must say, in Zlín, it is always beautiful time. I feel there is such a connection to the people, and such a really family feeling at that moment. And I don't know why. I'm very happy there, not bored at all. Like even with the place, But
it's a fantastic place. Now speaking about it, I have goosebumps of nostalgia. And we have Ivo and I common friends in Zlín, and I must say, not everyone. I mean, I as a chief conductor, I was there, I think, for 5 years, and I brought many soloists, especially Czech people, because that was how things were organized there. But only some of them became, because of their character, such a natural part of that community. So, I mean, the orchestra is nice to everyone, but you also had some people who were coming and leaving and didn't have much to say to the local people. But I think Ivo felt probably from the first time that it was a beautiful place to be and inspiring. And we had really, I was joking a little bit about this drinking and so on, but what I want to say seriously, it was a place which for many people, and for me very much so, was a place where I got deeper into the profession. I could really work very intensely with the orchestra, and I opened as a person. I don't know, that place had a quality, people in the place, some people, not all people, but majority of people, some quality of letting you breathe naturally and inspiring you and becoming friends and really somehow, be yourself. I think I learned in Zlín how to work hard and how to be myself at the same time. And I think,
and I'm sure that.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm sure that your spirit is still existing there in Zlín, because I heard the Mahler Ninth with Jakub and Zlín Philharmonic. It was like 4 years ago, maybe, I'm not sure. And the symphony is extremely difficult for the orchestra, but I could feel a real love between Jakub and the orchestra. It was something more than just a professional work, or more than famous Jakub came back to Zlín. There was something more.
Yeah. And their friends remaining there. If anyone is listening, I greet them and send them lots of love to Zlín. I'm remembering Jitka Šuranská, a beautiful friend who was a member of the orchestra and also played an important part in embracing every good guest and every good person, and inspiring, and who unfortunately died last year. So also, that person was almost like a symbol of the Zlín atmosphere. And I thought, now speaking about Zlín and having Ivo here, I thought I would remember her with the nicest, most beautiful memories.
Thank you very much for this mentioning. And of course, I'm so pleased to see both of you together, because you are such an icon now, and I am really so honored. We have so fantastic musicians in our country who represents us so well in the world, because I believe we are just a very small country, but we are so rich for the music, and I don't think that we are comparable to any other country. I'm sorry to say. For the amount of citizens and for the history of music, there is no country who can be so comparable to us. And I'm very
definitely not any country of this size has so many fantastic musicians in the past and also these days. But the composers, come on, I mean, who can compete? If you count numbers of performed works compared to number of citizens of the country, I think we are, if not the best, then definitely as high as possible. I think we are the best.
And of course, it's so wonderful when we see all that there are still people who are so much representing and who are such fantastic ambassadors as two of you. So it's really amazing that you could be together with us, and I really hope that you will also perform together more now in the hopefully soon time, and that we will hear new CDs as well. But this CD, which I was just showing, I will just show it again, will be really having a great success more and more, because it deserves. And I'm so proud of you, and congratulations again, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Jakub, congratulations to your Grammy nomination.
Yes, now a Grammy nomination. But I must say, honestly, I always have a good collaborator. What should I say? All those nominations are with the most extraordinary people who work with me. I mean, that's what conductor is about. I do nothing with my, nothing concrete with my hands or with my voice or with my pen. I just wave arms in front of people. But at the same time, I think my vocation, or the point of my life, is to help other people to get the best possible result and to inspire it. And there's no reason to make difference between an orchestra or a soloist, and that is the same mission, just to trigger the nicest possible atmosphere and the best quality, and respect, to which I didn't need to trigger, because Ivo and I have, both of us, exactly the same thing. I mean, greatest possible respect to the composer, and not only that it's a beautiful CD we've done, but it's also one of the truest in reading the message of the composer. We went to Bamberg and said, now we are going to make great music, but we also want to be absolutely faithful to what Dvořák and Martinu wrote, and just dig in and do all possible to wake or make their musical message awake. And that's nothing much more. I mean, we didn't, this is the whole concept, just be as good as you can imagine in service to the great music. And
the energy between the conductor and the soloist needs to be in one wave, and that's something what between two of you certainly is.
Yes.
And without that, nothing can work, because it can be only learned, but not to be spontaneous and as you are as a human being, and that you can hear from the performance as well. So bravo, really.
It's great.
Thank you.
Ivo is a person that I'm happy to be with, even if we don't make music. That's even more special, you know. So making music is the first rate common passion, but we can also just go out and have a chat and drink, and it's equally beautiful. So now I'm slightly too far for that, but we'll do that.
That's fantastic. It's fantastic, and I'm really glad that it worked today, and that you can have really explain, so share your experiences with the people. And I'm so proud of you again. And Ivo, I know that you have a concert tomorrow. Tomorrow or the day after? It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow I have a streamed concert, and day after tomorrow I will play with.
Oops! And now
this is the secret. Everyone needs to guess.
Exactly.
Which was not planned. So this is something new for me, because I had to learn this Sinfonietta last night. So I should go practicing.
And which Sinfonietta you beautifully stopped, so we didn't get the title.
It was by Martinu, right? With the Czech Philharmonic.
Yes.
La Jolla.
La Jolla.
Yeah. Well. I keep fingers crossed. It's a lovely music.
It would be fantastic, and I would like to, of course, share the link for the live stream, because it will be live stream, so everybody can watch it. So I will look for it and I'll just share it with the people later on. So good luck, Ivo, and thank you to make your time also during this busy schedule you have now. You could have been with us. Thank you. Good luck, and we look forward.
Thank you very much, and good night, and all the best.
Thank you for joining, and give my regards to Maestro Gardiner. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Of course, this will be his concert. Thank you. Bye-bye, Ivo. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that everything works well today, and that we could have fantastic again. Another performer.
Jana, you can't imagine how beautiful it is for me now to see all these guys, because I feel, of course, it's specifically difficult now to get home to Prague, because I have my work in Bamberg and my family is in London. So I come between London and Bamberg. And yes, I miss Prague, I must say. But of course, we go to the Czech Republic for Christmas. But, we were discussing, David, Mareček and I, some projects with the Czech Phil in this period, but unfortunately I couldn't make myself available. But I have nostalgia for all of you. And I saw these pictures of our New Year concert. It was this year New Year concert, and I'm really nostalgic about that. It's but I like nostalgia, so I am enjoying my nostalgia.
So let's have more nostalgia and see your performance with Czech Philharmonic of the Saint Ludmila. I don't know how to say it in English, actually.
Yeah,
Saint Ludmila. So enjoy it. It's so beautiful also to see the whole packed hall, right?
And do you remember how long that concert was? That was the longest concert of my life. So I had this crazy idea, which I think no one else understood, only myself. They thought JAKUB HRUSA got completely crazy because I wanted to do once this huge oratorio of Dvořák without cuts, everything, you know. And we started, I think, at 8. And I think people had troubles to get the last underground, the last metro.
Oh my goodness!
I think we had 2 intervals, like 3 acts with 2 intervals, and we finished, I think, quarter to 12.
Midnight.
But I must say, I don't say that to boost or something, but I say that it was a very, very beautiful moment of my yet another appreciation of your orchestra, of our orchestra, because of course that cannot be popular by natural state of matters. I mean, no musician would like to play 9, 10, 11, 3, almost 4 hours if it's not necessary. I mean, it had always been done shorter, and then suddenly the HRÚŠA comes with this crazy idea. And of course, there was some resistance among the singers and among the players. But I must say that in the end, everyone was playing fantastically, and everyone went for it with full effort. And I really realized that with the Czech field in the current state, with all of you, if everyone understands the value of the idea, if everyone understands that the personal conviction about something, then nothing is impossible. I mean, everything is possible because there is a huge talent and a huge quality in this orchestra, and they can do simply the most extraordinary. I say they, I should say you, because you are part of that orchestra. You can do anything. I mean, as long as you're inspired and really in the good context and under good hands, I think anything is possible.
But it's true that some of the pieces, and now you bring me the question, some of the pieces of the big masters are known to be cut and are not really played completely. Do you think it's because there was a reason that you think that the pieces were not so good enough? I don't think so. I think that the people knew what they wrote, but only that they were afraid that the audience, it will be too long for the audience. Or
yes, I think my opinion about Dvořák is a little more complex. I mean, I think that cuts in Dvořák in some situations are meaningful. After all, he himself authorized some of them. And like in this St. Ludmila, he authorized some cuts. And we will never really know fully if it was because of his conviction or because some other people told him. But the fact is that he agreed to the cuts.
Okay.
And by the way, I don't think it's necessary to do it without those cuts. It was a beautifully crazy idea for a festival devoted to Dvořák. And because it hasn't been done since, I don't know if it ever has been done with or had been done without those cuts. And I thought, come on, let's just see and hear the whole work in its entirety. But then I repeated the same work in Smetana Litomyšl Festival later that year. And we did some cuts because the local context was simply different, and it was fantastic. And I always said, it's not that I think it must be always without cuts. No, it's just this occasion calls for it. So I think the same opinion I have about Rusalka. You know, as I was doing Rusalka in the National Theatre in Prague, there was this myth. People thought that I opened all cuts and it was too long and whatever. First of all, it wasn't really so. I opened only some of them, but we did it a little differently from the tradition. And of course, it's very difficult to persuade people, come on, let's do things a little bit differently than they used to be done. But also, I think that some cuts in Rusalka can help, especially if it has sense on stage, if the director and his concept can make it sensible, and vice versa. If the director is absolutely fantastically convinced that there should be no cut at all and fills the whole theater with meaning, then who would protest? such a beautiful music. So no one can protest. It depends on context.
I must say, I really personally very like your ideas, because at least it should be heard how the composer wrote it. And he took his time to do that, and then it's actually lost and we don't have a chance to hear it. And it was his idea from the beginning that it should be like that. So I think that it deserves to be heard, even if someone will say, well, it's not worth it, it should not be, but at least to know what was the original. And I think that your ideas which you come to, which are so unique, that makes you also so unique by yourself, because you have different ideas. You come with something different. That's great.
I appreciate, if we speak about the Phil, about you, I appreciate we had more such discoveries. I remember another huge project was all tone poems on Erben, and the last one, the hero song of Dvořák. We also played, it was a long concert, but we put them together, and suddenly you had an idea of what a composer he was, not just for one piece, but for the whole period of life. And I discovered with the orchestra a very forgotten piece, this Prague Carnival by Smetana. And it's so pleasant when then some musician, a member of your orchestra, comes after the concert and said, no, I thought it was a strange piece first and didn't really know why did we play that. And, I really start liking it, and it's beautiful. Or about the Suk, we played the Suk Symphony E Major, the first one in my last collaboration with you. And, some members of the violin section came, and it's such a fantastic music, but we don't remember having played it ever. I mean, it's all the time just in the archive. We need to play it more. And you can't imagine how beautiful it is, to do something like that, to make the musicians discover, not just the public.
It is the way, if you understand the music, you can share it with the musician. If you don't, if you are lost by yourself and you only think that maybe the musician will do it somehow, then of course the musicians are lost. It's always the sharing with the people. And if we hear, or musicians hear from the conductor that he is absolutely convinced about understanding, it's like speaking, it's like the sentences. If you understand what you are talking about, everybody understands. If you are lost in your speech, then everybody is lost as well. This is exactly with the music. And from your side, it is so clear that you are really, as I was mentioning at the beginning, you always get so much along with the pieces which you prepare, that it's understandable for everybody afterwards. So even the pieces which were played sounds different because they are suddenly understandable.
But that's very beautiful what you say. Thank you. But I also want to say that I like also discovering with the orchestra at the same moment. I experienced several times that I personally was maybe not so fully convinced about a piece of a famous composer, for instance, like thinking, oh, this piece, we are doing it because we love the composer, but maybe it's not exactly the same best quality as the other piece. But then I always give it a try, and I very much like sharing even doubts with you, with orchestra members. If I have some doubt about something, our common goal is to make best out of it. And sometimes it's best to share also the thinking behind it, like what we would do, what not, and sometimes also experiment. Who am I? Am I a guy who never has any faults and doubts? No. And it's very good if there's a trust between the orchestra and the conductor, that the basic things like technique, authority, maybe the inspiration is there. So then you can allow yourself to open also this more vulnerable side. But you can only do that with an orchestra which is good in its character. And I'm coming back to the Czech feel of the old times, and I still very palpably remember it. The Czech Philharmonic was always an excellent orchestra. I mean, basically the talent and potential was always there. It was more conservative, less youthful than now, less open, definitely. But it was always a prime orchestra. But it was so difficult to be yourself and just to relax because there was always an opportunity to, create trouble somehow. So many. I was assistant there, and I saw so many conductors, other conductors, somehow fail to convince the orchestra, and it was not easy. And now I feel I really can open myself, share ideas, work hard if the thing needs it, work less if the thing is ready. I'm very happy to finish earlier. I'm very happy to, go till the last moment, just as it needs to. And I think this is the sign of the best orchestras, that you don't need to think all the time about what people would think and should I do this, should I do that. No, just the conviction. If you're convinced for the piece or about the piece, then I think you just go for it.
No, you're right that really the orchestra now is very positive. Now it's a really positive orchestra. The people are positive. They are enjoying. They are. It's a one group. It's really one family at this moment, and you can hear it afterwards also in the music. And also the conductors have the same opinion now. As far as I started to be in the orchestra only 15 years ago, I must say only because I'm so old already. But it's really I started to be very late in the orchestra. And as I knew the conductors as a soloist before, they came always to me and said, like, the people are not smiling at us. What is at me? What they're just like playing without looking at me. I said, like, well, I don't know. I just don't know why they are like that. But it doesn't happen these days. It's contrary. The conductors comes as it's so great. They are just smiling. We just can cooperate. We can just work together. We have the eyes together. We have the contact. And that's exactly what you say. It's a collaboration now.
And I think Czechville was an orchestra where it was not possible to really say a joke or this. You thought it was over serious. It felt like you were at the exam all the time as conductor. Like everyone just observed whether you make a mistake or not, or whether it was under control somehow. And now I think people feel and think, as you say, about music. I think the excitement of music is what matters most. Not for everyone equally. Some people go to work, of course, but I mean, every orchestra has these various types of people. But the general impression is very fresh, and I even say some bit of a feeling of the best. Youth orchestras. There are some characters which make it or who make it really very exciting, like young people discovering music, and the older ones, the experience, give it the maturity and go along with the mood. It's great. I think the good mood prevailed, which is very nice.
Yeah, exactly. The truth, it must be said that it's not only negative about the past. The generation was different by itself. It has been different. It has been also different because of the regime which was in our country, and everybody was like down with that. And also, but still, some of the recordings are historic stars all the time, even up to these days. From Anschel or from Neumann.
The orchestra exists since 1896, so of course, and at some moments of its history, the orchestra was among the very, very best in the whole world. And it's absolutely, this ambition in the orchestra was always there and is there now, which is fantastic. And I'm happy that these days it's not just talking about it and remembering the past and how great we have always been, but it's actually a living thing that we together, or you with Semyon and with other guest conductors, that you simply show this at the moment, how great the orchestra is.
Thank you very much. And I must mention again that your teacher, who was your really big inspiration, certainly, and we were mentioning him already before Ivo Kahanek came into the broadcast, Jiří Bělohlavek. How long have you been studying with him? Actually, the thing is, I must tell you honestly, who would not know that you are not his son? Everybody would think that you are his son, because not only visually, but you are, I feel like, the same character, same feeling like of the nobles. You know, you're both very noble people, and you, I feel such a similar behavior between two of us. It has been because you are so natural. It seems like you are really a clone of Jiří Bělohlavek. It's unbelievable how fantastic similarity is there. How long have you been with him? Because it is something what really seems that you have swallowed everything so much, or you will be so similar.
Yeah. So first of all, I should make clear that I'm not his son. I feel obliged to say that because I've heard this more or less seriously meant gossip about myself. And I remember Dagmar Pecková, a well-known Czech singer with whom I did a performance of Rusalka in the National Theatre. And then we went to Smetanova Litomyšl, to the festival. And there, between a rehearsal and a performance, somehow we were going with the bus from one place to another. And from that bus, we saw some pedestrians walking in the park, and the bus almost hit the people, you know. And then I shouted, "Don't hit them, because it's my father." It was my father going there outside, you know, and the bus just stopped. The last, it was reversing, whatever. And Dasha Pecková looked out of the window and said, "No, okay, so now I agree and understand that you are not Jiří's son, but because my father, of course, is much closer to me in how we look, you know." So anyone who has seen my father must understand that this is some kind of a joke, gossip. But at the same time, Jiří, I saw him first time, as I said, you know, I saw him as I was, I don't know, 14 years old, maybe 15, and I felt a connection at distance immediately. I mean, I'm not esoteric a person too much, you know. I don't so much read into these things, but I must say that in this case, metaphorically or really, it's difficult to say, but somehow these two souls of people who haven't seen each other and who had similar inclinations and similar maybe talents, or I don't know, somehow found each other. And then before I started studying with him, I started studying with him in 2000, and I was in my second year at the academy. And before I started, I was the participant of the Prague Spring Festival competition for conductors. And I was the youngest Czech participant. I got to the semifinals and got some prize, 3 prizes actually, some honorary mention and so on. And it was a great experience. I was actually 19 years old. And so I made some impression in Prague, which helped me a lot later. Actually, it helped me also to get to Jiří's class because he recognized my success as well. But at that competition, I remember members of the jury, I'm not going to name who it was, but other famous conductors, not Jiří, criticizing that I was conducting too much like my teacher, Bělohlavek, that I was imitating him. But actually, I saw some videos, of course, and some live concerts, but how could I imitate his technique really before ever meeting him properly as a teacher? So I think I had a similar idea how to approach conducting from the very first start. Or maybe his inspiration at the beginning was so powerful that I, of course, integrated a lot. At the same time, I got to know Jiří as an extremely dear friend later, not only just a teacher or older colleague, but we were very close, like friends. We wrote a lot of letters to each other and met at occasions. And he was very generous, always. He was one of the most generous people I knew, and he helped, not just me, he helped so many people with various various means and various ways, and he never expected any official gratitude for that. He was very altruistic in that way, and knowing him deeper, I think we're also quite different. I think, you know, we have similarities, but also some features of character are different. Also, in subtleties and in opinions, you know, I don't feel we were replaceable each other. You know, it's not. I think it was the background, or also the basis was and is similar, and I'm very proud to, you know, claim to be his student and to learn so much from him. But also, I think ultimately we have different. In subtleties, we are very different, actually.
And certainly he was a big inspiration. Do you remember, or of course you remember, but can you tell us which piece you really learned with him, and which was actually he showed you the way which only you could follow later on? If it was certainly probably the Czech repertoire, or actually what piece was the first one you learned with him? Because I am not a conductor, and I hardly can imagine. I have never been at any of the conductor lessons, so I hardly can imagine how you do it. You probably have the mirror there, and
no mirror. No? I used mirror too, but I was a kid still when I used a mirror. Actually, I really was probably born with the baton in my cradle, because I really conducted the gramophone already as I don't know, 10 years old, maybe even earlier. But my son Martin does the same, so I think as though I think many kids are interested in conductor. It's like
your daughter as well. I feel I have there one picture where I can see that she's conducting as well, but I have to find it.
You think? I think it's Martin probably. My daughter maybe also, actually, but Beatka.
Here we are.
Oh, I see. You're right. How do you have this? All right.
Right?
Oh, you're right. You know more than me about my children. That's great. No, but Martin especially, Martin, I should say in Czech. I mean, he is really. I mean, he conducts like so naturally. When he hears music, he conducts. So I think many kids do that. But what did I want to say? Oh yeah, the first piece. No, I think. I mean, it's not as important. As I started at the Academy, I think the first piece we did together was Beethoven Symphony No. 4. But it's not so. I mean, it's not so. It's not such a key work. What I think is, I have a lot of recordings with Jiří of Czech repertoire, of course. And I think he played a role for me, especially in the field of Smetana, Dvořák, Josef Suk, a lot. Yes, the canon of classical romantic repertoire. A little less in Janáček, I must say. I felt a little different. Until this day, I feel differently about Janáček than he did. It's an interesting difference. I always sensed simply Janáček should sound a little differently. I always acknowledge what he did, but I would feel I will do other way. But even there, I discovered a lot of his music, especially opera, because he often did operas by Janáček abroad at the very famous stages. And he was, again, generous and often invited me to watch a performance and maybe to discuss and teach. So I think his example was rather more general. And of course, in repertoire, we're very close. I mean, now, sadly, he is not amongst us anymore. I feel really, in terms of helping Czech music to shine and to get vibe and appreciation, I really think I go in his steps.
Certainly, and I'm very glad that you were so really greatly talking about him, and I'm sure that he's listening to us, even he's not with us, unfortunately, and we all miss him certainly a lot. And I was searching also for the document which has been filmed about Jiří Bělohlávek, which calls I Love So Much to Conduct. But unfortunately, it is only a sample on the internet, where it's not the moment where you were together with Sir Rattle on the dinner together, also talking. And I wanted to make this kind of sample of that part. Unfortunately, I could not find it on the internet. So if anybody has a chance to find the whole, maybe DVD of this document, go for it, because it's very unique. And you can also see how really big friends, a part of being a conductor as a colleagues, and the teacher and the student, they were really very close to each other. So I'm so thankful for this, what you could have been able to have together. That's
yes, and yeah. Eternal gratefulness. It was great to have Jiří in my life, and he remains, not only on that wall there, but deep in my heart.
Absolutely. He is with all of us, certainly, all the time. Thank you so much. So let's see now a little bit of your music again. And I would just like to mention your wonderful cooperation with the Berlin Philharmonic, where you were performing with them or conducting the Dvořák Othello Overture. Yes, again, on a short part, of course, with the harp.
I was about to say, you always choose an excerpt where the harp is playing.
I should. Otherwise, it looks like that we are not on the harp channel. But of course, I must say you a secret thing. I was contacting, and I was chatting today with Emmanuel Pai.
Oh.
To be as your surprise as well, but unfortunately he gives you a lot of greetings, but unfortunately he could not today because he has some kind of event in the evening, so he could not make it free for him, but he sends you a lot of greetings. The same from Marie-Pierre Langlame, the harpist. I was also chatting, asking her. She unfortunately also was not able. And another person who I was chatting with was Isabel Faust, who is also giving you many, many greetings, and she really regretted very, very much. So all three people sends you a lot of love and a lot of greetings. And so only just I didn't want to forget to share it with you and to tell it and to forward.
It's great. It's absolutely great. And I was also grateful to see our friend Vašek Vonášek there playing the bassoon in the Berlin Phil. It's always great to have him. Of course, he never misses when I go there, because it's, first of all, we're friends. We actually stayed together at how should I say, at Kolej, a dormitory, a student accommodation in Prague as we studied. And I remember getting to sleep always while I am hearing a bassoon concerto. I never forget, because he always was listening a bassoon concerto every night. And yes, Vašek, and Berlin Phil. It was a very beautiful time twice.
Mm-hmm.
I go there again next September. I hope we will perform already normally.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy about this collaboration. The orchestra is fantastic, and and very inspiring. And again, I must say, however strange it sounds, I find I can be myself in front of them. I don't pretend anything. I don't play any games. I don't do some strange stuff. You just go for music as a human being, and they respond. Actually, they have a reputation to be rather difficult towards conductors, and you definitely feel they are critical about what you do. I mean, they observe, and they wouldn't do just whatever you say. But I've had such a great time with them, so I'm looking forward to my next time.
I really wish and hope that it will not be closed, and that really next season will be already normal. And yeah, certainly, yeah, you really should go there again. Do you know what program are you going to perform there?
Yeah, we're discussing. It will have a great deal of contemporary music this time. I think it's about time, because my programs in the last two visits were not conservative, but a little more traditional. Always, some discoveries. We did Kabelage, Mystery of Time, which was a great piece to discover in Berlin. And we did Bartók, and we did Martinu and Janáček, so not old-fashioned music. But this time we are planning a piece, contemporary piece. And then actually a month ago I met Annette Mangold, the head of the Berlin Philharmonic, discussed some program ideas, and I don't have yet the feedback what they chose. So I'm really curious what it will be.
Certainly, it will be pieces which you again like, and you will like it.
But I gave them really options, and because I think she said, just tell us what you want to do. We will confront it with our ideas. And the nicest thing I heard from her was that the orchestra was really open and eager to work with me again, and maybe regularly if everything goes so beautifully as the last time. So a real relationship, I feel, and I'm very grateful.
That's fantastic. We have listened, and of course we have seen and read at your biography how many concert orchestras you worked with already, and of course also so many soloists, also including, I have here the photo of Anne-Sophie Mutter as well. Yeah, do you have any
those photos? I haven't seen them for ages. They are supernatural.
It's good that we have the internet. You can find everything. It's a lot of work to find all of those, but it's possible.
This was in Sydney, this Anne-Sophie Mutter.
And it was with the Sydney Orchestra.
Sydney Symphony, yes. I remember, sorry, I must tell you the story. I remember I was so scared of this concert, not because of Anne-Sophie, because she can also be hard on conductors, I'm sure, but it was a very beautiful meeting. But I was so scared because as I was there, I heard about her bad luck story with Vladimir Ashkenazy, who was the chief conductor there. And I think at one point he was impractical with his gestures and hit her violin, and the violin flew her precious violin flew in the air and fell down, I think in concert or general rehearsal or something like that. It was a huge scandal.
Oh my God.
And then she came, Anne-Sophie came again, and then now performing with me, and I thought, oh, I should be careful that I don't do anything like that. But it was rather difficult because she plays very close to the conductor's podium. I mean, with every bar, she got closer and closer. I mean, remember, we played Dvořák concerto. I remember spending entire concerto in right hand side bottom corner of the podium because I was so scared not to hit her violin. The end was good, but imagine that it would happen second time.
You should have the plastic wall, like it's now in the COVID. We have it also between the wood players.
No, but she was amazing, but she was every new bar she was leaning over the my stand. So anytime I wanted to, turn the page, I became so close to her. I was trying, you know.
Oh, wonderful.
She is a personality, isn't she? She is a force of nature, and a beautiful collaboration we had. But I really remember this that I hit her violin.
Maybe she was asking again for it, you know. She wanted it.
I don't know. I think she tended to be physically close to the source of music making, but lovely. But we survived. It's good.
But you have also, as you mentioned, you have really wonderful cooperation with so many fantastic soloists everywhere. Is there any this is example of a great story? Is there any other story? I know certainly it has not happened, but we are witnesses. We are witnesses of the video which you can see on the YouTube that someone starts to play, the orchestra starts to play different concerto, and the soloist is shocked that it's different concerto. Did something like that similar happen to you?
No, this didn't happen to me yet, but no, I don't have these catastrophes in my biography. No. But, I hit actually no. To my very close friend Karen Gomio, who is also a violinist in Toronto, I actually hit not the violin but the bow, and I felt so painful about that because it was in a performance. She didn't play at the moment. It was in an orchestra interlude, and I got so passionate that I was flying all over. Actually, I should make sure I don't do it too much. You know, it's already 2 photos in the internet. I don't know if you found them. Did you find them?
No.
Yeah, I would like to show it to the audiences.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know.
2 photos, both with the Czech Philharmonic in Rudolfinum, I think, where both my feet, I am above the floor. So I am in the air. How can that happen? I don't know. And so I jump, obviously. I see now on my son, a little Markinek, that he also jumps when he comes. So I and so I hit the bow in the interlude, and it went down the floor, and no crack or nothing happened. But it's such an embarrassing moment. No, I didn't have that. I remember having a very exciting time with Karita Mattila, the soprano, who also came to Prague celebrating Jiří's birthday, and we reconnected. And I was doing Jenufa with her in Helsinki, and it was one night, and she was really fun to work with, and what an artist, fantastic personality. So, you know, it takes some time before she gets convinced that you're the right partner for her in art. You know, she's very critical about this, and yes, you can't think that in the first rehearsal you gain her full appreciation. But we got along very beautifully after all the exciting performances. But then at one point in one of the performances, she lost she lost some item on stage. I don't know, maybe a shoe or a piece what she should hold, and she didn't have it, and there was some little mess about it. But she never stopped singing. It was just the tempo was a little different. And then I saw her after the performance, and she was very excited. I mean, she was all over the place about what happened, and she said, "But you didn't notice that I lost this item on stage, and a good conductor should not only look at the orchestra, but you know, we have to have absolute connection. And you haven't seen that I lost that item." I said, well, I didn't notice because you sang beautifully and then nothing happened. You just went on beautifully. And I said, did you notice that I broke my baton today? and then the whole last act, I had actually no baton, and I just conducted with my hands. And she said, oh. And I said, are you not supposed to watch the conductor? So we had a very how to say, a very heated discussion, and then we embraced, and it was beautiful. I mean, actually, in the end of the day, also people who are sometimes trickier maybe to work with or have a very specific taste or opinion, in the end, everyone, every good artist, every fantastic musician want to be as good as possible. There's always a platform where anyone can meet. It's valid for the orchestra members, for the soloists. Everyone has the same goal, just to perform in a fantastic way. And as soon as you find this platform, then you can, if I say metaphorically, you can dance on it together. I mean, there's never a barrier, but you have to you have to meet. Sometimes it goes like
Absolutely, yeah, I know. But it's a part of the, not every minute is the same.
no.
Even in a different part of the day, it can be totally different. And that's actually I really love on the music, because it's never the same, never ever, even with the same musicians. And that's something what it's music making. Yeah.
And I like speaking about Carita now. I actually like these challenges. I like strong personalities. I must say, people who have something to say but have very strong opinion, and then challenge you to get the best out of you in service of. I think what's decisive for me, that those people serve some higher principle or some value, which is something more than their ego. Even the people, of various characters, various types, but if they do that all, if they do their original stuff and live their original life just to serve some higher purpose, then I absolutely adore it. And actually, that's exactly what, for instance, Carita Matira is just a fantastic artist, and I learned so much from her. Also, the human side, it was rather sweet. Able to talk with her.
Because here I have also the photo of you, and I can't now find it. How is it possible? I had it now here, and now I lost it. It's weird. It was there. That's very strange. I had it there, and now it's gone.
That I probably wasn't meant to be shown.
Without knowing, no, it will. I will.
I mean the photo as I make it on the beach, yeah.
Well, I will come to that. But I just, of course, now, before we will talk about later, I will show now some of the video, and I will now bring maybe the Dvořák Symphony number 7 with the Bamberger Symphoniker again.
Sounds good.
It's great. I wanted to clap immediately like that.
I want to share something with the audience. I'm one of the very few, if not the only guy, who restored the original instrumentation, orchestration of this end. Of course, the Czech Phil plays it with these additions also. And it's possible. I'm very proud of this recording because it shows at the end of the symphony, you don't need to add all those horns, trumpets, additional things, because people want a big gesture. And it works even without it. It's a good proof of it. I like this.
Absolutely. Actually, which hall is the best for you to perform? Is there any really which you say, well, here I really enjoy to conduct, or is it not about the hall?
No, it is about the hall, but it's difficult to point out one. On a sentimental level, I really much like Rudolfinum because it seems like home, and I haven't done as many concerts in any other hall as in Rudolfinum in Prague. Also in the past, now with the Czech Field, but also previously with my Prague Orchestra, where I was chief conductor with the Prague Philharmonia, PKF. And of course, we played regularly there, and it was a hall absolutely ideal for that kind of orchestra. Yes, but this is with the Czech Field, of course. Yes. So Rudolfinum is somehow home for me, and I have a great feeling for it, even if it's not ideal in many ways, but it is ideal in other ways. So I like it. Then I really like some halls which everyone like, you know, some traditional halls like Musikverein in Vienna. I adore. Konzertgebouw is fantastic. I like Boston, of course. It's very beautiful too. I like hall in Cleveland, where I go very often, Severance Hall. It's a very beautiful. It's a beautiful place. You know, I could go on. I like Philharmonie in Berlin. I like Suntory Hall in Tokyo. But again, those two halls are very beautiful for me, not only what they are, but also because I have such fantastic and emotional and successful experiences there. So when I say Suntory Hall in Tokyo, it's all a huge amount of beautiful memories, you know, what I performed there. And I personally like the acoustics of from the new halls. I very much like Philharmonie de Paris. It's a great place. I don't like so much the design of it from outside. I must say it's not my cup of tea, but I think the hall inside is fantastic. And I think so many people will be surprised, but I personally love Elbphilharmonie. Again, I had beautiful things there, beautiful experiences. Opera in concert, we played Mozart and Giovanni, we played Ma Vlast, the whole My Country cycle, we played Brahms, we played whatever else. We should have played, actually this or next week, we should have played, early December, the Alpine Symphony by Strauss and Pastorale by Beethoven, but of course it's gone, so we cannot. I think it's a hall which is very true. So if you play well, you have success. If you don't play well, everyone hears that it's not all right. And so I think it's, again, like I spoke about, great soloists. Also the halls, I like the challenge. Lucerne Hall is fantastic. Lucerne, KKL. I like the hall in Zaragoza in Spain. And, yes, I like Birmingham. I like Dallas. I mean, many.
Of course, yeah. When you were talking about the excellent also other soloists, of course, I will just mention here Lang.
And me with the beard. Yeah, it's in Seattle. It's in Seattle.
Yes, and you were mentioning, of course, Japan. I know that you are admired in Japan so much. You are really a huge star there, and everybody really admires you. And I know that you were performing there not a long time ago. I think it was last year, because I was just having afterwards the solo recitals after you had performing with Josef Špaček there, who was also one of my guests in the past. So I know that you were also there, but I know that you are also a chief conductor of an orchestra there, right?
No. I was a principal of the Tokyo Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra. It's actually a very sad thing, because I should have gone there, I think, really next week or the week after the next.
Oh.
And yes, I mean, the invitation was valid for me. Then I would have to go to a very long quarantine, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't do that, and I'm very sad about it, because especially this orchestra, I've done my debut with NHK Symphony, which went very well, and some excerpts are on YouTube also about that, and it was a fantastic experience. But with this Tokyo Metropolitan Symphony, I really spent several years of regular visits. And we discovered so much repertoire. We did all Martinu symphonies, all Brahms symphonies, Janáček, Smetana, Dvořák, Saint-Saëns, Debussy, Stravinsky, Bartók, Kabelage, and almost all Suk major pieces. Can you imagine all of that? And that all on such a level that when you listen to a live CD, which I have, you know, just not for public use, but just for learning, when I listen to them with some distance of time, I'm so amazed and proud on the quality of the musicians there, and the openness of the public and the passion for classical music. I mean, it's an extraordinary country.
It's wonderful, and indeed, I absolutely agree with you, and I really hope that you will be able to go there again, because also I found this picture you were performing not long time ago, and you were mentioning it was a gorgeous performance together. So I hope that you remember what was it, because it was a Chopin you were playing. It's a piano player, but I don't remember.
It was in Spain. We were in Spain, and it was
yeah. No, it's
amazing. He's not Japanese, but it was amazing still.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you were mentioning that you did a lot of Czech music, of course, with also the Japanese orchestra, but you do also with your Bamberger Symphoniker, and you were also doing the opening Prague Spring Festival, where is my country. And I would, of course, as I am a harpist and this is the Harp channel, I would like to present your wonderful entrance of the Vyšehrad of 4 harps you have presented there to play stereo. So let me show and share it with the people here. Of course, I just want to apologize that I said that it's from Prague Spring. It's not from the Prague Spring, but you did the same year in Prague Spring, and this is from the London Proms Festival.
No, you didn't say. You said we opened the festival, and then you said you would show something. Yeah. The Prague Spring opening was the first concert of our huge long tour over the summer, and the Proms were the last one. So it's connected.
Okay.
Then we recorded it direct to this. That was this special project. Actually, I have to show you. This is this.
And I must say really that bravo to the harpists if they are able to listen to it. Really excellent performance.
Yes. And the lovely girls and women, and I think they were synchronized very beautifully.
Absolutely gorgeous, really fantastic, super.
And of course, it was my idea. I must confess, this idea of stereo harps. One doing gesture and the other replying, and multiplied. But it seems like it's getting popular because my older colleague Jana Boušková is doing the same now.
Absolutely. Well, we did it last year in the whole tour in Japan already, but it was like for the first time, and it was after your spring.
Yes. No, I know he was very generous to me. When he was studying Marvelous, of course, it was a new thing for him, the whole cycle. he was actually very sweet and sent me a beautiful email that he followed all my prom concert and was very excited about that.
Yeah.
And he might have got inspired, and there's nothing wrong about it. But
That's beautiful.
back to this is the LP.
Wow. Great.
It's a limited edition. You know, only 1,111 copies. You can see there.
Oh wow!
I have my copy number 23 because it's my favorite number. I really recommend. Actually, I spoke to Lukáš Močka, our friend in the Czech Republic, the
trombone player,
who told me how excited he was about this recording. It's a direct-to-disc method. After coming back from that promise which you saw, we came back to Bamberg. We had a couple of days in the horrifically hot weather. I think it was over 40 degrees Celsius. And we recorded in this method direct to disc. So only, I think, two microphones put there. And what you do on stage goes directly on the vinyl. It just curved directly. So that means there's no single cut, no single adjustment, and you can't stop. So there's one side of the disc, one side of the LP, and you just can play only from the start till the end and then stop. There's nothing to change. There's no way to improve anything. And we recorded this, and I think, the reviews are amazing. I'm very proud of that. You cannot imagine what excitement it is if the whole orchestra is playing a symphonic poem, which is not easy, as you know. It's very tiring too, which has about 10 to 15 minutes. And one mistake you do, it's all
done.
It's all done. And the orchestra, I'm so proud, especially for this result, because the orchestra really, we recorded every symphonic poem of those 6 only twice. We just went once through, second one run through, and then we just chose one, A or B. That's it. Nothing more.
Fantastic.
And, the sound is really, there's no digital component. It's all analog. And you really, when you listen to it, you have to have a gramophone. It's only on LP.
Yes.
But when you listen to it, you feel you are in the hall. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm proud of this. Please.
Absolutely. It's sold out when it's only so limited. It's so sold out already.
I think it still exists.
So, well, I will be the first who is searching for it. But what I want to tell you. Do you know about the beginning of the Vishera? Do you know the story about that?
Which story? Tell me.
Because Smetana has not actually written this cadenza by himself, but the cadenza, it has been. He has given the freedom to a harpist who calls Staněk, and he is a relative to the cello player from the Czech Philharmonic, JAKUB HRUSA.
I see.
And I have even the letter which JAKUB sent to me, where your Maestro Bohumil Förster was written the letter about this story, how it has happened. So I have also, I will send it to you right after. And there is written how it has happened that actually the harpist, the Czech harpist who was really virtuoso at that time, Mr. Staněk, was doing this cadenza, and Smetana gave him the freedom to do it. He gave only the harmony that he wanted to have the chords.
Yeah, so he gave the motive, the chords.
Exactly. But the rest,
those arpeggios are not by him.
Exactly.
In the autograph which I saw, it is with Smetana hand, so we had to copy them into his.
Of course, he has written it afterwards, but it has not been exactly his writing. So that's, and also the thing is that usually in the past it has been played all in the together, 2 harps, if it were 2 harps, but in the original it is meant to be really like 1 and 2nd harp. It has not been 2 together, but always changing.
That's what inspired me. I think there's a clear,
exactly.
Clear, like a statement and response character. But I know another story. I know I can't give the very colorful details, but you have definitely played, because it was in the original first concert ever of the Czech Philharmonic live, was this third Slavonic Rhapsody of Dvořák in A major, and it also starts with the harps.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I know that Smetana was quite bitter, actually not jealous, because he was above jealousy, but he was a little sad or melancholical about the fact that his younger colleague stole his idea to start the piece with the harp, gets equal and maybe even more success with this in his Slavonic Rhapsody. So there's also this interesting competition, and there are at least two pieces of Czech repertoire for orchestra which start with the harp cadence. So
and it's so nicely that you say that. I mean, you know, I don't know if you have seen it in the some of the book, the official music book, which is for as an education book. But there is written, and I was once a long time ago, I was mentioning on the Facebook also, that there is written officially for the students about the harp. The harp is only the a visual kind of instrument for the orchestra, but it's nothing important to be heard. It's so weird.
Is this?
I will tell you later. I don't want to now to say, but it's really now. I was so shocked that someone can say something about the harp like that it's not important harp. It's just like the important for visual way. But I bet, and I am very sure, and that I'm sure that now in these days, the harp is a very important instrument. And also Hector Berlioz was an example of the composer who has written the Symphonique Fantastique, which the second movement is in the ball, and there is the harp. It's really a solo instrument. And if I'm not wrong, you can but surely you can correct me. But I heard that the origin of this movement was to make really the harps solo, so that they will come on the stage only on the second movement, dressed in the really robe for the dancing, play this piece in front like soloists, and then leave. And that's what I heard. That was the original idea of Berlioz.
So next time we do Symphonique Fantastique with the Czech Phil, we will do that as you now say. And you organize some beautiful dressing, you know, some beautiful clothes, and then we do that.
It will be wonderful. Mainly, I must tell you, it will be wonderful not to sit the whole first movement, not before, because I don't want to listen to it. It's beautiful music, but it's so long, and then to sit, play
and loud. And if you sit next to the bell at the end, when
exactly. But I must tell you, really, it's not easy, the second movement for the harpist, because it's really, and when you have to wait so long time without able to touch the instrument, and then you are having right away to start, and then you sit the whole time until
what went wrong.
People forget that you even were there, you know, even you played so difficult part of the music. So I mean, it will be wonderful if once someone, maybe you are really the one who can do it the way how Berlioz wanted. And when we are talking about it, I will also show and share with the audience your performance of the Berlioz with Bamberger again.
Oh, yes.
More, it's so beautiful. It's such a great music.
But I think it's not good, because the harps are not dancing on stage.
Now you will think about it.
The only one who is dancing is me, and that's not good. I mean, I should arrange the next performance accordingly. I think. But I like doing these things. I remember in Tokyo, I was doing Chopin's Second Piano Concerto. There's this famous post horn solo, like trumpet, post trumpet, post horn, and it's always done on a normal instrument. And I insisted that we would do it exactly this way. That just when the horn, this post horn solo should come, that we open the door and there comes a musician, just plays it and goes away. I was just joking, I said no, we just do that, and I even insisted that he took some uniform similar to a postman, So it was absolutely great. And as we did Sinfonietta, you remember we had this music of Prague Castle, the brass players, and Janáček wanted those to be in the uniform. So there was also, and I'm trying to do that always when I do Sinfonietta. I at least mentioned it. I remember with Tonhalle Zürich, by the way, another beautiful hall, the Tonhalle Zürich. I was rehearsing Sinfonietta, and then I said to the banda, the rehearsal, I just said, no, by the way, it was meant like the musicians on stage are in the tails, in frack, and then the banda comes in a different, different dress. Pity that we can't do it, but anyway, just. And then I came for a concert, and they came, they didn't tell me that the whole banda was in very colorful, dresses, and they were, and I couldn't even start. I was so pleased. They didn't tell anything. I just mentioned that, just by the way. And one day later, they all came dressed like butterflies. It was really great.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you mentioned Sinfonietta, let's see now the Sinfonietta as well.
I almost thought you failed with the harp, but no, there was a.
I just sorry that there was not seen that there are really also the brass on the top. On this video, it's not seen, unfortunately.
But that harp player seemed familiar. I have seen her.
But it was, you're really a big fan of Janáček. I'm sure that you are.
Janáček. I have his music in my genes, I think. No, I must say, oh yes, that's in Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
I remember really being fascinated by music by Janáček in my as I was a kid. I remember listening to the Glagolitic Mass and that organ solo there, and my eyes moved here and were like that, because I couldn't believe that's possible. I mean, I didn't understand it, but I was so excited about it. And I always like the combination of poetry and gentleness and depth of his soul, and the roughness and non-sentimentality of his music. His music is never sentimental. It's so powerful, but it's also little crude. It has this. It's like a very sharp knife, and it can't I don't know. I feel you can't get immune, and you hear Janáček music, and in 1 or 2 seconds, you know it's Janáček, and I think it's amazing.
Exactly. Is there any other composer who you really adore as much as Janáček?
Oh yeah, I don't want to compare.
No, I know, but maybe when we were having the interview last interview with Jiří Barta, with the cellist, he was saying that he likes many of them, but he will never get over Johann Sebastian Bach. Sorry, it's a little long. I'm sorry, I'm taking you so long, but yeah, I wanted to say Johann Sebastian Bach, that he's never tired out of him. But even he loves Dvořák, he loves everything, but sometimes he said it's enough of Dvořák, and I want just to play Bach only, but he's never enough of.
Yeah, because Bach is a universal genius. I mean, his music is personal and is emotional, but somehow follows the laws of musical sense and structure, and it's somehow, it's really cosmically universal. You just can't find anything wrong about it. So Bach is definitely. I mean, I don't conduct Bach. No,
because you play also.
Oh no! You won't believe this. I mean, this is not really playing. It's in Nelahozeves, this photo. That's in the small church close to where Dvořák was born. It was a New Year celebration. We sang. Tomáš Jamník, his wife, and my wife Klára sang Ryba, hej mistře, nas. Oh yes, and that's in Hukvaldy.
Yes, I just want again to mention that really you are admirer of Janáček, also with your.
You're amazing. Where do you have these photos from? It's quite fantastic. No, but what I want to say is that Janáček is very special, but I feel similarly special about. I don't want to sound like crazy national, nerd or freak, but I really so much like all those Smetana, Dvořák, Janáček, Martinu, and Josef Suk, of course. And now I am discovering Josef Bohuslav Förster, and I also like Novak and Kabelák and so on. And from the world repertoire, it's many really. I mean, Bach definitely, Mozart, Beethoven. I like Schubert so much, and also Schumann and Brahms and Wagner and Bruckner now, and Mahler and Strauss, and Berlioz, and what else? Debussy and Ravel and Tchaikovsky and Mussorgsky and Stravinsky and Prokofiev.
But are you also a fan of the contemporary music?
Yes, I
must say honestly, from my own experience, if I allow, I have this memory picture which I have not had. I found it on your page. Would you imagine? I have not known about this picture at all when we were performing the piece by Krzysztof Mařatka, and it has been a concerto for harp and of course orchestra. It has been written for me. It calls Praharfona, and it's a part of 9 movements, little movements, which are connected with the Czech, the Prague theme. And you, as a conductor, you were fabulous. I must tell you, it's not an easy piece. It's absolutely not an easy piece. You did it like it's a piece of cake. It was amazing, really. And so quickly you did in one rehearsal. It's usually not possible. It was amazing what you have done. So from my own experience, I can tell you, you are for the contemporary music exceptional, really.
Oh, I like doing it. And there's nothing like that if you discover, especially the world premiere of something, and then you collaborate with the composer. I think next year I'm doing a little more of it again. This and last year I had a little less of that by various contexts. I mean, it wasn't really a choice, but I like it. I like. First of all, there's nothing more beautiful than to, be like a birth assistant of
or I always feel like how you call that in English? I mean, the doctor who assists in giving a birth. Like as the one who guarantees everything will be all right. And I personally, I think you said I was born with a baton. I don't know about that. It's maybe a little like a little joke about that. But what I think I have since ever is somehow an amazing respect, natural respect to people who are creative on the highest artistic level. I feel I'm not dogmatic about it. It doesn't make me like a servant or something like that. But I have a never-ending wish to follow the vision of the creative artist. Maybe because I don't have as much talent. I mean, I've done some composing, but I don't have so much talent in terms of composing. I'm not a composer. I'm conductor. But that's why I appreciate if someone really is a creative artist, a primarily creative artist. It's my absolute nature to serve it, to give all my powers to help it. And I always felt extreme pain if, for instance, some musicians just disrespect composer or just do as they please. And also dead composers or living composers. If someone says it doesn't match really what he wrote, but I feel like that, and I will do, never mind that my tempo is twice slower, twice faster, and then I do long when he writes short. I've never done that. And I have that also with other, like books. When I start a book, I never quit before I finish, because there's something in me which really feels, honestly wants to, acknowledge the power of a creator. So that's why I so much like, and also soloists. I mean, if the soloist has a powerful vision, I can tear myself off just helping. I like breathing with the soloists.
Great cooperation, and if you have this kind of character that you really want to finish what you started to do, you can certainly forward it to your children, because as of course you are an amazing star. I must tell, really, you are a star already, and you are a great artist who is adored all over the world. But mainly you are also a human being, and that's what makes you even nicer to everybody. And if you allow me, allow myself to do a little video of your private photos.
Oh.
So this is the
I need a handkerchief now. It's very beautiful.
Oh, I'm so glad that it makes you happy. I mean, it's so gorgeous family, and I'm really so also touched that something like that exists, and that you are connected to it. And I'm so happy for you, because to have really such a family who is supporting and who, you have a home. That's something what for the musicians it's so important. So you are now in.
Jana, is the right place to thank my wife Clara for all of that, because I couldn't. What would I do? I mean, with all my travels and all my fascinating but often selfish, how to say, interest in music, I do my career, and she could have hers as a lawyer, and she connected her life to mine, and we are having such a beautiful family, and she still works. She still can do her law stuff so beautifully, and does so much activity, and you can imagine, I mean, the beauty and burden of the family is primarily on her shoulders, and her heart makes it function, because from distance I would offer too little to make it happen. So thanks God I'm going there on Sunday, so I can, after 2 weeks of absence, I can see them again for about a week. And yes, I think at one point Clara, my wife, will watch this, so I'm sending my greatest possible love and gratitude for our beautiful family in all ways.
It's so beautiful, and if I may, I have the last person to say this, but I want to thank her as well, because without her, we will not have you as you are as well. So that's something.
That's true. And I think she is joking often that if she didn't meet me, that I would be the most disagreeable person in the world. No, I tended to be a little, I don't know how to say it. I took myself too seriously before I met her. And there are certain people in my life, and she was absolutely in a huge distance, the main one who made me more human, more friendly somehow. And she always, I mean, she never misses a concert when she can. She loves music. We met through music because she plays the violin, and she is a beautiful guide to our children on musical instruments. She adores it, but she's a lawyer. She's got a beautiful experience in the court, and as an attorney and all of that. And she understands things I don't understand. And I think, it's she offers different perspective than just professional musicians. And I think thanks to her, I maybe, I think thanks to her, I'm closer to my orchestras also, because I have a other perspective than just the one of a selfish conductor, and the family and the kids are adorable, and they are so beautifully naughty, and I like just having fights with them and arguing. And what I love is reading, so I read them a lot of stories, and, and yes, they inspire me back, and
that's fantastic.
We will stay like that for forever.
Also do just
yes, that's our summer this year. Yes.
And you go here, and you are really, even here I have the photos that you are skiing together. It's really gorgeous. Maybe can you just give us secret information? Where did you meet? At the concert? She came to you after you performed, or how did you meet?
It was much nicer. I was a member of a symphony orchestra, still as a trombone player, and then I became a conductor. And the secret, of course, is the secret of secrets is that when we met, we were both 18, I think. And she played the violin in their orchestra. She was there at one point, the leader of the second violin section. And she was not only the leader of the section, but she was also a leader of a group which hated me. And she was really like, if there are political parties, she was the anti-HRÜŠA party. And she thought I was just absolutely impossibly selfish and just annoying, and that was really difficult. And I noticed her, of course, because she is such a beautiful woman, and I was intrigued by her charm. But I couldn't, what could I do with this girl who everywhere she went, she said that I am impossible. And at one point, and I can't go to secrets because it wouldn't be fair to reveal that, but at one point, this, whatever it was, this officially expressed, antipathy or lack of sympathy to me, somewhat changed into a love. So, we've been together forever and have experienced all life experiences and all possible curves of life together.
Story. It's a love story, absolutely true love story. That's absolutely fantastic. And you are now based in London, right?
Yes, in London. In terms of the kids who go there to school, who now are bilingual, which is, oh yes, that's a school uniform. And Beatka, that's her. She now, I'm delighted. I'm really delighted. She is correcting my English expressions, and she thinks that I'm impossible when I say something which sounds ridiculously wrong. And yeah, she's doing very well. She's 7.5 now, and she goes, because the children start a bit earlier, she goes to the 3rd class now. And it's a demanding school, but very beautiful. So she plays the piano and she plays the violin. She practices the piano with me and the violin with Clara. Of course, it's always a big drama with a happy end. It's a huge drama with the peripathy, how the Greek drama. You have a conflict, and then you have a catastrophe, and then you have a catharsis, and then everything is fine. And yes, so London, when there's school, they go to school. It started very innocently. I was working at Covent Garden, and it was a longer time. And Clara and I thought this is a great opportunity to find some education for our children, for the daughter. And thanks to Clara and our common friends who until this day are beautifully helping us, Andrew and Kate, greeting them. I hope we will sing Christmas carols this year together before we go to Prague. So they helped us to find a school. And we fell in love with the school, and the school is actually the reason why we stayed until this day now. It's more than 3 years.
Wonderful.
And so it gives our children a lot, and despite Brexit and all other crazy things, we feel very well there. For some time, we're staying. But Prague, of course, is home, as well as Bamberg, and there are other cities where we feel very much at home, like Berlin. We discussed Berlin. When in Berlin, we feel it's also a bit of our home. I mean, yeah, we're a bit cosmopolitan, we are. But on the other hand, I mean, the real home, like the
inside
memories, is of course the Czech Republic.
Prague, yeah. And I should not forget, because I'm so sorry that I kept you so long time, and I know that you have not eaten. And
I didn't have a breakfast, and I didn't have a lunch. I just had music. A little walk, Bruckner, and a little walk in a cold weather without gloves. So I was very. But Jana, I don't know what you do, but I'm just happy. I would go like that for 5 hours, but we have to stop it at one point.
I just don't want to take your time, but it's really so wonderful to talk to you as well. And I have still so many photos here, which I would like to share with the people. And I should not forget, which is really the most important information at these recent dates. You are, as it has been mentioned already when Ivo came, you are now nominated for the Grammy Award. And it is something absolutely amazing and great success. I really congratulate you so much, and I wish that everything comes true, that you are really the one who will be connected like to the highest price. But you were in the cooperation with the famous and really fabulous violinist Augustin Yes, exactly. So I am just so sorry. I'm so forgetting the names. But tell me, was it your first cooperation with him or not? Because he's so fabulous. I know that my 2 sons are violinists and they are listening to him all the time. So
we did more of it. I conducted New York Philharmonic when he was a soloist, and this was in Munich, the Symphony Orchestra of Bavarian Radio. Met also somewhere else. Now, I think about 3 times we performed together. It was always great. And we were supposed to perform together this year at the Dvořák in Prague festival, but then it wasn't possible. And I had Honza Mráček, Jan Mráček, who was fantastic. I was very happy about that. But I want to say with this that Augustin is a very special violinist. And I don't know. I don't think this concert was meant to be released necessarily. It was a concert which was recorded for the radio, because it's a radio orchestra. The result was simply so splendid, so good, that Augustin then wrote me and said, look, could you listen to it also, and could we release it on CD? And I did, and I said, yes, absolutely. And that concert, actually, it's not part of this CD, but there's another CD, which I don't have here probably to show, but there's a CD with Suk Azrael Symphony, which was the second part of the concert. Also, there's 2 live, one concert with 2 pieces, Dvořák Violin Concerto and Suk Azrael, and they both created CDs, and both are getting appreciated. It's amazing.
It's something so special. So how did you get to know this information about the Grammy? Did someone call you or wrote you, or did you learn it only from the news, as we all did?
I think from Facebook. I think from Augustin. I think Augustin shared it on Facebook. And I shared it with my great collaborator, Katka Motlova, who is out there to help with the PR activities.
Thanks to Katka.
Greetings to Katka, yes. And we shared it together, and she then helped me to show it to the public. But no, they didn't call officially. So I got it from online. Yes.
No, it's an amazing success, and really we are so proud that you are there of this as an ambassador again. It's really something so special. So it's
also great to be classical music part of this famous platform. Well, it's great, and it's Dvořák Violin Concerto. Imagine that Dvořák would win Grammy. It would be fantastic.
Of course, yeah, and it's at the end of January. We should all be gespannt in German. Yeah, so it's great. I don't know how to say it in English. Tensioned. We should be tensioned. Yeah, for the January result. It will be really wonderful. And tell me, I will have here one more request to tell me what is it about. You were playing the percussions.
It's Suntory Hall.
It's Suntory Hall, indeed.
Suntory Hall, and I thought, they told me that they need a new bass drum. So, but they have to somehow organize it. So I said, how about that I destroy the old one? So then I went and made a huge hole in it and destroyed it.
So you have really destroyed it. Well, it's a historic point.
Please. There are some people out there who might believe this story. So please, that was a joke, okay? I don't know. I thought it was maybe a charming and a nice instrument to be on photo with. Maybe the one I could play, actually, even with
no. No. But by the way, this is actually a question. Have you ever tried to play the harp? At least to touch?
No, touch, yes, but no. I have to say very honestly that the harp remains to me in a sphere of a mystery. You know, it's like the way I look at the skies. You know, I look at the harp. I like them. I adore looking at them. I adore hearing them. I adore being close to them. But I really can't. You know, I can't handle.
I just wonder if you have ever tried to sit behind and tried to play.
No, I touched it with sacred, holy feelings, but I didn't play. No. And
May I ask you once tried to do it? Because every person who ever tried to sit behind the harp are suddenly amazed that we can even play. Because we get so confused with all those strings. You know, the eyes goes so strange. But of course, we are getting used to it. But I must tell you, it's really good for the conductor. But you are not the example who would not like respect the harp. But there are some of the conductors who just sings harps, you know, and always they just think that it's something wrong or something, it's too soft or too loud or too late or too, what is there for the pedal or what? And you are not like that. But of course, if any of the conductor who has this kind of meaning about the harps would sit behind the harp, they will suddenly change their ideas about it. It's really not easy.
I don't know if any instrument is so complicated for me. You know, similarly amazing is if someone really plays organ well, you know, with all macros and pedals and so on. But still, it's easier for me to orientate in the organ. No, harp is an amazing instrument, and it's always if there's a harp in a piece, if it's not only some pedal tones, which some people also do, but if it's a prominent role, it always adds to a festivity and a special appearance of. It's one of those instruments you can't use well if you don't give it a prominent role, and it's just a soloistic instrument. So every time harp is playing in the orchestra, it's something special.
Thank you to say that. Thank you very much, because it means a lot to us. Because I am having the same experience that it should be really heard. That it should be, the harp should be not only seen, as I said before, but should be really having a very important role. And only as a harpist, I can tell to the conductor and some experiences to be aware that the harps, not only that they have to be aware what the pedals they have to push in advance, but when some conductor is conducting and rehearsing and saying, just play from the letter A, and every instrument can start immediately. But the harp is, unless they are not written the diagrams of what the pedals are there, they have to look what the pedals are there. So please give us always more time to fix it. And you are the one who is doing it, but only to those who are maybe listening and maybe don't know. Give us always more time, because we have very different perspective from every other instrument. We have to see the strings. That's one point, because no other instrument needs to look at the strings. They all can look in the music only. Now, none other instrument has to look at the instrument. So we have to really have the connection with the instruments, with the strings, to be playing correctly. And then we have to look in the strings, but also we have to see you. And if we are sitting very far, there are 3 points of the triangle which we have to see by the eyes. So it's really not easy, and not many conductors actually are aware of that. So it's not easy instrument for the orchestra either. So just to be aware of that. Yeah, but you are really not the one who would have any problem with the harp. I know, and I'm so thankful to you, because it's always a pleasure to work with you. I have here also, I found this picture when you met with your wife, of course, Placido Domingo. Where was that?
That was in Covent Garden. It was in London.
Uh-huh.
It was amazing, because we were put into the same box with him.
Mm-hmm.
And we were watching Tosca by Puccini, he would be going to conduct in one of the next performances. And then he came to my performance of Carmen, and it was lovely. He is an artist, a human being. When you meet him and you have never met him before, in the first minute it feels like you're friends. He is so open to discuss and so on. I feel sad, not a little, actually very sad about what is happening around him lately. It's a sad story and difficult to speak about. But as I met him, and of course as an artist, it's a person bigger than the world.
I agree with you, absolutely. Yeah, and you were mentioning before also Maestro.
Yeah.
Yes. So
we congratulated him to his 90th birthday. Bamberger Symphony and I went to Hamburg, where he was conducting the moment, and congratulated him. And yeah, we stay in touch since, and I have great respect to this fantastic
man. Yeah, absolutely. And please tell us a little bit about this photo, because I found that in Japan you were do you remember what was that? It was in your orchestra.
Yes, we had a party with the members of the Tokyo Metropolitan. And I don't exactly remember what is written there. I'm very sorry. Maybe some Japanese friends will remind me. But it was a beautiful party.
It looks like you have a milk in front of you, but
it's beer.
Yeah, I know. No, it looks like I can see only the top of the white. So of course a beer. Yeah, but it was very nice. When I found this, I said, like, I have to show it. Even I have no idea what is it about. But here is also your orchestra in Bamberg.
Yes, that is the side. I mean the side, right hand side of our hall. Yes, as you can see, I'm hanging there. But fortunately, when I go to work, I'm coming from the other direction, so I don't need to look at myself every day. I kind of regret, or how to say, I have a sympathy with the musicians. They go to work and they not only that they have to see me on stage, but that they look at me at the building. So.
But they love you. That's the point. They love you. They are not disturbed by you.
You know what it's like. I mean, it's you can like the conductor, but still sometimes it's too much of seeing him. So it's good. It's good to have a it's good to have a change.
Well, but you are now lucky that you can work with them, even it's only recording, but you can still work, but you don't have any concert. Can you tell us, because I have also here, of course, these famous pictures with the mask. Did you ever conduct it with the mask in the recent time?
In Prague, it was this concert with the horns, with Radek Baborak.
Indeed.
Whom I met through your channel as well last time. And with the Czech Philharmonic, and actually with, if I remember, with Ivo was playing, and Jiří Vodička was playing, and it was not easy, I tell you, to conduct in the mask, because when you conduct, obviously you breathe a lot, and I was always having a feeling that I was eating the mask, it was always, and the mask went into my mouth.
How did it affect you?
I was very happy at that moment that we could perform, so I forgot the mask.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But do you feel that it has been very much affecting your life during this time, or could you just some kind of find a way of positive in it?
No, I could find a way. I spent so much time with my family, which I normally cannot at all. So actually, the spring, it was a beautiful family time. The summer as well, and I regretted what we lost. Like the Czech film, we had Katia Kabanova, opera performance, and I had Rusalka in Amsterdam, and some beautiful tours. We should have been to Latin America, South America with Bamberg, and Japan and Cleveland. And it's never ending. But at the same time, my life didn't stop. I gained some free time, and yeah, but I should stop there, because every time I speak about this, I immediately think of those for whom it was and is extremely difficult. You know, I am privileged. I'm privileged. I have work, and I can. Yes, we don't perform for public now, but I can still conduct and keep active, because I am lucky to be in a context which makes it possible. But so many people I know struggle so hard through this, and
That's great.
so it's not a good time. It's not a good time. It's of course, I advise everyone to take the best out of it, but it's easy to say, and for many people it's actually impossible to see it.
Exactly.
It's good. So I hope it will finish soon. It will be fine.
Let's hope that it will not come back, because of course the first period of this COVID was in the spring, then was luckily a few months opened. We were having also the same part of the jury. I just need, because this picture is so beautiful with the Prague Castle behind us. So, and we were actually lucky. You can see that we were not needed even to wear the mask.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's
a rose. It's a typical picture, rose between thorns.
No, not at all. But it was really great time still. We could have normally live, you know, we could and it was a concert which was open for the public as well, and it was beautiful. But now it is not easy, and it doesn't look really positive too much.
I think the springtime was easier in that way. Of course, it was new for everyone, so it was scary. It was easier because everyone somehow thought it's a short period we have to get over, and that in some reasonable time we live normally again. Now it's second time lockdown, and the problem is that no one really knows when it ends, and that's not good. And it's darker, it's winter, it's colder, and so it tends to be simply more difficult for everyone.
Exactly.
So one of the reasons I make music and continue working is give this. What can I do? I'm a conductor, so so much music gets to people in some way, the better. I mean, the more music gets in there, the better. And I hope for those who have sense for music and feel that it's something which can feed their soul, I hope they have they gain something from that. At least that's my hope.
I believe so. And you are also one of those who were helping a lot for those people. You were part of the group who were establishing some foundations for the people who were really needing the help. So I thank you by this for who could have help, you need it or use it.
Yeah, we with a lot of people, concretely with Ivo Kahanek and with Václav Lux, who is some sort of soul of this help, because he also cares so much about his musicians in his collegium. And yeah, I could do that because I was in Prague for a couple of months, so I offered my service, so to speak, and now it's a bit different because I'm away, but I sympathize, and I would do the same again, of course. Everyone who is in trouble needs help when it's possible. So Radek Baborák, I forgot. I mean, his platform was even earlier established, and is going somewhat separately from that. I mean, we connected and we're also not connected, but he was among the first who wanted to help people around him. And yes, actually, compared to those people like Vasek or Radek, my role was more symbolic. Like I tried to, help with my name and my authority as much as I could. But we achieved some good things. But I think the story hasn't ended yet.
But any help is helpful, I must say.
Yeah.
and Jakub, because I feel so badly, but it's 3
3
hours.
hours. Wow.
I hope you are really still not surviving this. And I would like really to thank you so much. And I apologize that I took you so much of your prestigious time. And I'm thankful.
Prestigious. I felt like at home for a moment. But Jana, we have never spoken so long in real life. I mean, isn't that comical? It's strange. I think
very comical, yeah, but I'm so honored that you made time and that we could do that. Actually, that's some kind of positive on this period of time, that we have a chance to find time to speak to those people who we really adore or we love or we really have friends. And that's something what at least gives us the positive of this period. Yeah. And I just would like to ask you if you can tell to the people something about what you feel or want that you have as a dream that comes true still in your life, if there is any, because I think that you bless you. I think that's
you. Can you take this as an answer?
That was the main and best answer you could have given. Yeah. No, I think that we all might have some kind of dream which we have in our inner soul. Maybe you have also some.
I have my dream is to be sensible and lucky and happy enough to combine the intensity of my life vocation, my music passion, with meaningful and healthy family life and friendships and things like that. And yeah, I mean, as long as this goes, as long as this functions, I think I can share my happiness with the people around. I mean, there are a lot of people who think that you have to do a lot of offers. You know, you have to, how to say that, you have to suffer to achieve something, and maybe there's something true about that. But I also believe unless you're happy yourself or you find your own fulfillment and happiness, you cannot make people around you happy. And I don't think I can go without any of those two components. I think those two, I mean, the family and your personal life and the professional life are both terribly important.
Absolutely.
And I am knocking head and wood. It has worked so far, and sometimes one forgets how important this is. So I think if this can go on, then I am not worried about anything else. And of course, staying healthy is important, but especially mentally healthy, actually. I think, yeah.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. And
I don't have, you know, I've achieved such beautiful things. I don't have concrete professional dreams. I have some small dreams, like now I want to do symphonies by Josef Bohuslav Förster. You know, it's amazing. I'm speaking about him because it's a proof that what really occupies me at the moment and seems to be a huge passion. But that's nothing compared to this general wish. And in the field of profession, I mean, I hope what I do will be inspiring for the musicians I conduct. I mean, that's because I imagine that you would conduct and people think it's dull what you do and no one would find it interesting. It must be a terrible situation. So I hope things, I mean, if things go like they have been going, I wouldn't complain.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, my dog is just going out.
Your dog is more sensible than you and I, because he knows we should finish.
But the doors open, so I'm freeze now here. But she could go out by herself. But I just want to also thank to everybody who was with us. We just got now very, very touching message from a really a legend of the harp world, Marisa Robles, who lives in London actually, and she wrote that. You are a poor man who is very hungry in 3 hours without lunch and dinner. Yeah, you might explain that it's not only that I'm keeping you for three hours without eating, but that you were not able to find anything to buy to eat.
Yes. But I should say one thing: people, not only esoteric people, but also scientific people know that if you are exposed to a sunshine, that you can forget your hunger or maybe get some kind of other energy. So I've been exposed to a sunshine for 3 hours. That's why I have forgotten my hunger. But, I will collapse as soon as we switch off the computer.
No, I will really let you. Thank you so much, Jakub. I will let you go to really eat because we need you and we don't want you to collapse. I wish you really that you have a lot of energy, that you have a lot of success because you really deserve it. Really, not anybody deserves it as you do. And I'm really so proud of you and so happy that we have you as our national conductor who represents us so much in the worldwide. And we are proud of you. And I thank you for your time, for your wonderful stories. I thank to your wife, to your family, to everybody who was with us. We have really so beautiful messages. I allow them to hear our. Here's from my manager. He is from a person in Belgium, and they are really even the. And then it's 10 and many others. So I'm so happy to share it. And of course, I will be very happy if everybody will follow JAKUB HRUSA as much as possible. You will hear about him all the time. He is really the one who should be not missed. So I thank you
so much. And I can't wait to perform with you again and meet in person, not just online. And greetings to everyone. If anyone had stamina to watch it all, so then now thank you for your patience. And I'm greeting especially my family, my mom, my dad, my little brother, my grandmother, other grandmother, and all relatives and friends, and especially my wife and the kids who are hopefully asleep, I hope.
But they can always look later. They can watch this, of course, on the YouTube. It's going to be saved there. And I really thanks to everybody, especially to our main guest today and to both of it's a prize guest as the general director of the Czech Philharmonic, David Mareček, and the fantastic pianist, piano pianist, Ivo Kahánek, who was with us as well. And once more, good luck for the nomination that you will won this prize, and good luck for the recordings now of Bruckner, which you have now in Bamberg. Many greetings to Germany, and thank you so much for everything what you are doing and how you are. That's so special. Thank you.
And good night.
Good night to everybody.
I love Daddy.